Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, man. How are you?
I'm all right, but I know that that's a lie.
Jeez.
Yeah, you're not doing all right.
Oh, I thought you said I'm doing all right, but that's a lie.
No.
I'm not.
You're not. Doing
I'm not
all
doing.
right.
Do you want me to rant about it again? I can get into it again.
The subject of this week's episode, because I based off of this being our second attempt at recording, I got to thinking last night, and I sort of threw away my idea for yesterday's episode.
Okay.
And I switched over to a new idea that I feel like is more pertinent, more topical.
Okay.
It's of the people. It's what they want. It's what they want to hear about. It is terrible Airbnbs.
Yeah. Because full disclosure, so I'm still in New York, as per last episode.
He is indeed
Still here. This is week 2. I'm going on of a 3-week stint. So I will probably leave here cured of my desire to live here. But we tried recording last night. You came over, but you forgot cords for the soundboard.
Mm-hmm. So I forgot some cables.
Forgot some cables that are necessary because without them, this doesn't turn on or record. Good. We just had an ice cream truck, and now there's just a car alarm going. So this is,
There's
sounds of the city, man.
I have a pretty irresponsible neighbor.
Is it the same one every day that goes off?
It's not every day, but it's like too much.
Yeah.
It's to the point now where like it doesn't actually alert anyone. Like sometimes when you hear a car alarm, you're like, is that a carjacking?
Right.
Is that what's happening right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear it and it just becomes like, nah, that's just Tony's car just sort of doing his thing.
But yeah, I'm in this Airbnb, and the last honestly, most Airbnbs I've stayed in have been all right. I've rarely had like a bad experience. I've had some where you're like, but it gets the job done. That car is going.
Yeah.
So sorry.
I mean,
they might not even be able to hear it. I have no idea.
They might not be able to hear it, but in case you can, it does take. I've started calling him Tony because it seems like a Tony problem to have.
So this isn't the first time you've called it Tony at all.
No. But it's just funny to me because there will be some times where it's going for like a while to where I'm like, I think the battery's gonna die.
Yeah. I don't know if this will. See, I don't know. I can try to boost it. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I mean maybe they're not
it.
picking it up at all.
But it's to try to talk while that's going.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm in this. I moved to, so me and Jess were together last week. She was in town. Great week, by the way. Maybe we'll get to that later. And then I moved to a different Airbnb because she went back to Iowa, and I'm here. And honestly, when I first got there, it was fine. Like I didn't love that. Like they clearly did some like editing on the photos to make it look like it got way more light than it really did, because it is a dungeon. It is.
Yeah.
There is no.
When I came to visit you.
Yeah. What were your thoughts when you came by?
I was like, oh man, I didn't know that you were allowed to like put out an Airbnb, like just offer up an Airbnb and smoke crack. Like it just felt like it felt like the type of place where you go visit your friend who's going through something, and then you realize your friend's not having a good time. Like it seems like the apartment from a drama where it's like, what are you doing, Benny?
Yeah,
get it together. All right, you're better than this. And then it's just like, because the lights don't make any sense. So the problem with the lights in Logan's Airbnb is that clearly this place that he's staying in is like a garden apartment, but clearly it was an afterthought.
It's just their basement.
Because
there are stairs that go right up. So it is just their basement.
The lights don't make any sense in that the positioning of the light doesn't light enough things.
No.
So there could be lights evenly dispersed throughout the room that, when all turned on, light up the room. Mm-hmm. But to my knowledge, from you showing me, I don't know if you turned everything on at once, but when things were on, they would light up a corner real hot. Like that's the crack corner where you want to make sure you can see yourself.
Well, yeah, because clearly, so like, yeah, there's 2 switches and one lights up 2 pretty dim lights on the walls, and those were clearly added later. And maybe they added those, and they're like, fuck, we need another one. Like I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like the way they did the pictures too. Not only did it look super bright, so they probably used a flash. They also clearly did some color correction because it looks like bright daylight, and it is not. It is dingy
in
yellow,
real life.
Grim lighting.
It looks like where Rocky lives between movies, like. Like in Rocky 2, he'll be like, I did it. And then he goes back to this like real dungeon of an apartment.
And his eyes are so swollen, it doesn't matter. It's got bad lighting, you know?
Yeah, he's not looking at anything. And then Rocky 3 comes around and they're like, hey, Apollo wants a rematch or whoever's in. Mr. T wants to fight you. He's like, I'll do it. And then he he leaves the apartment for the whole movie, and then he comes back, and then there's that movie where they're like, Rocky, you're broke. And he's like, oh, well, come see my house. It doesn't even matter. And then
that's the interesting one too, because between Rocky 4 and 5, because I believe that movie takes place a couple days after Rocky 4, and by the time he gets back, for some reason, he's totally broke, and his son is 8 years older, and it's never really explained.
Do you ever get so poor that your
kid grows up?
Your kid grows up really fast. It almost seems like a metaphor, like because when you are poor, you do have to grow up a bit faster because you have to live a bit more life.
But it's also like no one's going to help him out. He just brought peace to Russia, and by punching a Russian, that's unprecedented.
Yeah, that's everything that Kennedy was trying to do. Like he did the whole Cold War in like 10 rounds.
But then, so one, it's just dingy, and I think it has like put me in a weird headspace too. I've been in like a weird mood today.
It has. As soon as I saw you, I was like,
no, because I even told Jess today, I'm like, it kind of took me back to when like I was living alone in a basement unit, and like I was happier then. Like that was okay, but it was just like, I've just been kind of like stressed all day, and one of the other reasons I was stressed all day is because they have a child up there who
we don't know if that's a kid or a dog.
No, because there's both. I've heard both because they also have a dog that got added to the mix today.
You sure that's not just that kid barking?
I mean, if it's a dog, then that dog sometimes speaks in full sentences. So I don't know. Then it's a miracle of science and nature, and I would like to meet this talking dog. But
wouldn't that turn your whole week around?
I would forgive it of everything. I would forgive it of everything. If they're like, oh, sorry, it's our dog. He's energetic and he speaks fluent English. Like, that would be a whole different.
You know how puppies are.
Yeah, they're always talking in words. No, but so they have a child up there who is can run with the force of a grown man. Like he is pounding that floor, because even Jess was like, maybe it's a baby. You know, babies run hard. I'm like, yeah, but I'm hearing him like speak full sentences, so it's like it's not like a baby.
This is what I think might be happening.
Yeah.
Which, in case you even at home, you the listener, the viewer may not know, the walls in New York are notoriously paper thin in lots of places.
Yeah.
And
the downstairs neighbors here are getting a free live show, right?
Yeah, like our ceilings in New York are also made out of our walls.
Which is why last night when you were there and we were talking and was hearing the running, because this kid is just doing full wind sprints, front of the house, back of the house for 5-6 hours straight, like nonstop.
It would actually be kind of funny if that kid grows up to be an athlete.
That'd be something.
Like if that's the next Usain Bolt and we're complaining about having to listen to him train.
In the documentary, his mom's just like, listen, he got us a lot of bad Airbnb reviews, but he is a champion.
Yeah.
No, but he was running so hard. Remember, I was sitting on the futon, because it's just futon. It's got that Airbnb furniture where it's like they found the thinnest IKEA shit they could get. I don't fault them for that. That's every Airbnb, so whatever. But I was sitting there talking to you, and then I felt something hit my hand, and I looked down, and I swore I saw like a piece of white bounce off, and I was like, was that ceiling that just fell on me? And you were like, that was absolutely ceiling.
Yeah. This thing has happened to a friend of mine before. They stayed in a really bad Airbnb in Chicago. Now, Chicago, I feel like, has great Airbnb. I have not stayed in a bad one while I've been in Chicago, because they're just mostly Chicago apartments. And a lot of Chicago apartments are like really, really big.
Oh, I have stayed in one Chicago Airbnb, and that was also clearly someone's basement that afterthought got turned into an apartment. And it was all right. There was at a point, because there's like a doorway that leads upstairs, like straight up their front stairs. So it is like their basement.
Yeah.
And there was a point at night where we thought they were having like a fight. It sounded like we heard like a woman crying. We heard a lot of yelling. And we were like, oh no. And like they seemed nice when we met them. We're like, this seems intense. I think their TV is just like right near that doorway because eventually we heard music swell with the argument. And we're like, oh, we're hearing a movie.
Yeah,
but it sounded so real because I'm like, I think there's a woman crying right behind that door. I think she came down the stairs to cry.
Do you know what's crazy is when you're just in your Airbnb with your loved one and then you hear on full volume Marriage Story blasting through.
It might have been
through
that
your
too.
wall.
It might have been.
And just wondering if you need to knock on the door, see if somebody needs help. And then you hear a full crescendo at the end of the fight.
I think even Jess pinpointed what they were watching one time because it was that, I can't remember the show, but that Netflix show with the lady who's got the Tommy Wiseau accent. I can't remember the
Anna Delvey story?
Anna Delvey thing. I couldn't remember her name. I'm in a weird place today, man. I didn't sleep much last night.
But just the Tommy Wiseau thing is very funny.
Just give me your money. Don't worry about it.
Oh, man.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Sorry, bank.
Oh, hi, bank. Oh, hi, bank. How's your sex life? No, but there's a point like Jess could hear the accent. She's like, "Oh, they're watching that show, Inventing Anna." Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Inventing Anna. Yeah.
And she like pinpointed what they were watching, and I was just like, "That means that TV's either too loud or too close to the doors." But you couldn't like really hear it through the ceiling. But the other thing with this Airbnb, sorry, you were talking about Chicago Airbnbs.
Oh no, just a very quick thing. So this Airbnb my friend was staying in was once again paper thin sort of ceiling, and the upstairs neighbors were running around and they clearly had a dog or whatever. And the same thing happened to him, but he was like eating a bowl of Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
At a certain point when because he stepped away, like went to the bathroom, and then when he came back, he saw around the bowl a couple of paint chips.
Yeah.
And so now he's like, I don't know if this is full of paint chips or not. Like, I don't know. Like, he was like, I bought this cereal and it's like the last, because he'd been staying there for a week.
Yeah.
And he's like, the last bowl of my Frosted Flakes might be half paint chips.
Is it falling into my mouth when I'm sleeping at night?
Yeah. And so he was like, I think I ate so many paint chips in Chicago because I was sleeping and just little pieces of ceiling were just trickling down. Because at first he thought it was
negative
dust.
for COVID, but positive for lead poisoning.
100%. 100%. Just the idea that you're on your last bowl of Frosted Flakes that you love so much, and then you come back, there's just a ring of paint chips around the bowl. like it must have felt like you know like when you're in a building now and they're like, oh hey, careful, there's asbestos up there. Yeah. It must have felt like that because he's like just going to the bathroom, coming back to the table, and then there's just like, and he said that the ring was so perfect that like it felt as if maybe a square of tile had like fallen down. So he knows most of it is in the bowl.
Yeah.
And so now he's like, I didn't see it fall in. Ugh. And it's also milk on Frosted Flakes. So he's like, I'm never going to see the chips. Like maybe if I just eat the...
Yeah.
Like if I just
pretend everything's sugar.
Yeah. If I just let it all soak long enough, won't the paint soak out? Like won't the milk kill that paint? He was like trying every way that
in
he
movies
could.
When someone gets cut and they pour milk on it to sanitize.
He was just like, where's the 2%? 2%. Because it's
don't give me that skim, I'll get gangrene.
Because it was so wild, and he seemed so disappointed. Like even as he was telling me the story, he was looking down.
That would be disappointing, man. No,
Yeah.
it's and then it's like too. I was just like frustrated, but then I knew we were going to record, so I didn't really want to go anywhere. And like the neighborhood I'm in, there's not a lot around. It's kind of a scant neighborhood, like a couple of convenience stores. So I was like, so I just kind of sat there. I did like a Zoom with Jess, and I just like slowly just got like a genuine like migraine, and just so it's like just a kid running, he was running all day. This kid was trucking all day, and it's like, listen, I'm not for medicating kids, but I'm not against it. And it was my God, I was like, this kid.
What's so wild about that is that in the long term, I wonder, I'm not even saying it is, I just wonder if life is actually fair, because anyone who's doing that to so many people, because this is Airbnb, so I'm imagining people are checking in, checking out all the time. Yeah. Anyone who's making people live through that for like 5 years deserves to kind of not move that great when they get old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like the circle of life where you're gonna be in a home one day just really pushing a walker.
No, and I spent a lot of time today too, like just looking at hotels. I'm like, I don't need to just waste money, but like I almost want to just move to a hotel, because at least even I've been in hotels, people have been loud, but then you can call the lobby and be like, hey, can someone tell them to shut up? You can't do that when you're in someone's house.
Yeah, like especially when it's their house.
I'm staying in a stranger's house. That's them up there. I can't be like, hey, can you tell your kid to fucking chill?
Yeah.
Because the whole point I rented this one is I want to spend a couple days relaxing and working. And
that'd probably be the craziest thing that you could do.
It'd be wild.
You just walk up, hey, can you beat him?
I at least want to hear a good trip or something. That's
I'm just saying.
No, so it's like that's just a lot. And then the other thing that is, we'll call it challenging, was that when I got in there, and first off, so I had to check out from where me and Jess were staying, and then I had like a couple hours before I could check into this one. So I was just kind of out with my bags, and it was like a 20-minute walk from where we were. So I just kind of hung out in a park, and then I was like, all right, it's time to check in. So I walked, but it was it's a record like heat wave right now.
Yeah.
So I just had my backpack and a roller bag too. By the time I got to my Airbnb, my shirt was sweat. Like I was soaked. And then I get in there and there's no air conditioning.
Ooh.
And honestly, that's my bad. I didn't see that it said no AC on the thing. So that one's not on them.
Yeah.
And it's a basement unit, so it's been okay. It's been muggy, but it's been okay. Like I'm just fine. But then I get in there, and then I go into the bathroom, and there's a sign above the toilet, and it says, please do not flush. And this is the order they do it in, which was confusing. But it says, just please do not, flush paper towels, toilet paper, or feminine products. And putting toilet paper in the middle,
to hide it.
Yeah, and it made me like read past it. I had to like read. I'm like, is this saying I can't flush? Period. Like, is this just saying I can't use this toilet? Because then that's got to be in the listing.
Yeah.
And then there was another one by where the toilet paper is, and that one just said don't flush paper towels. It said this like there's an old building, it's got old pipes, it's built in like 19 whatever, and it just says hey don't flush these things, but it didn't say toilet paper that time. It's like, okay, are they just saying like, hey, don't be reckless? It's old building, don't have a party. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I messaged them. I was like, hey, is this saying like never flush toilet paper? And it says use the container provided, but the container provided is just like the little garbage can they have next to them. Like, is it there? Are you just asking me to wipe my ass and keep it? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking me right now? Is to have a very uncomfortable collection? Because okay, but then you got to be clear about that shit in the listing.
It feels like they're slowly trying to turn you into Jeffrey Dahmer. They're like, hey, you don't use a toilet, and if somebody knocks on the door, you should eat them.
Yeah,
just you can have friends over if they're not like breathing.
Yeah, and like it's probably great to like wear someone else's head. So like just think about that. Think about those things.
Yeah, just do that stuff and then
do that stuff and it's fine. And so I messaged them. I was like, "Does this mean never?" And their wording was like, they're like, "Yeah, it's really close to where like the sewage outlet is. So like it may." It doesn't always get to dissolve, the toilet paper, so sometimes it creates clogs. They said, just be careful. And I was like, what? what in the entire fuck does that mean? Be careful.
To be careful while flushing a toilet. You shouldn't have to flush a toilet like you're detonating a bomb. Yeah, like you should have to touch it like, ooh. You shouldn't have to like push it a little bit and then be like, was that too much?
I mean, yeah, like I won't go nuts with it. It's like, and like, listen, I know there are places that do that. It depends on the pipe system. It depends on the placement, blah, blah. But you got to warn a guy. That's got to be in the listing.
That also
has to be in the listing.
It gives you no confidence
in anything. In anything in the place.
The water is clean.
It gives me no confidence the ceiling might not just fall. Like, I don't know, especially with that kid running.
I mean, it did fall. You know, a little piece of it fell.
That's, honestly true.
I also think that when you are getting an Airbnb, you obviously want the pictures to be accurate. My favorite Airbnb that a friend even stayed in, my buddy stayed in this thing, and he was telling me about it. I felt so bad because I told him he could stay with me, but
could have told me that.
Well, this is a different time in my life.
I know, I'm kidding.
I basically was in this situation where I was still living with Jeff and Amy.
Okay.
And Buddy came to stay, and then he was about to move into an apartment. But then in the interim, he was like, oh, let me move out a little early. Maybe I can get to the apartment early. And I was like, okay, if you're sure. And he Airbnb'd from this guy. I don't even know how. Airbnb will let you list things for like a suspicious amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll let them get very expensive. Obviously, there are people. Yeah. There are people. I didn't even know this. There are people, rich people, whose Malibu homes they will put on Airbnb for like actually an affordable rate if you all use the rooms.
You'll see like houses in like picturesque parts of the country that are like $500 like for a night.
I'm talking about a mansion,
right?
Where as long as you bring enough people to use every room that's in there,
right,
you'll be able to afford it,
right? Yeah.
So 500 per person for 15 people. Right. So obviously that's a lot of money per night. Mm-hmm. But like, hey, if you had 1,500 and I had 1,500, we want to stay 3 nights at a mansion, and we just had to get every friend that we've ever had that we don't think will ruin anything. To come with us, I had to whittle it down. I don't want to say every friend we ever had because now it sounds like we only have 6 friends apiece. Well, but basically, he stayed at this Airbnb, and when he got to he knew it was going to be small because the pictures were a little blurry. So he was like, okay, whatever I'm signing up for isn't good.
Yeah.
And it was also $20 a night. So he's also like, this is crazy. And this is also early days of Airbnb too.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people don't know. Maybe people knew about Airbnb, but a lot of people weren't using it as regularly. Like now we actually compare Airbnbs to hotels. So we'll be like, let me see how much a hotel is. Let me see how much an Airbnb is. This is before we got to that stage as people.
Right, yeah.
So this is still when you had to kind of know what Airbnb was.
What Airbnb was, how to spot like what's
a deal
what's
and
a
what's
deal,
a scam.
what's a scam, what's real.
And so the pictures were very blurry. Goes over there and it's a tent for the $20 a night in the backyard.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Is a tent in the backyard, and the guy doing the $20 tent in the backyard, there's 2 other tents. So you're not even in a tent alone in the backyard. There are other tent people there.
And nowhere on the listing it said it was a tent at all?
Didn't seem like it.
Fucking
and so then
wild.
So then he's in his tent, and he's like, it's actually not that bad. Like, it's obviously bad. But he's like, hey, I'm new to New York. I'm like, he's also very young at the time.
Was it like in the city too?
No, I think it was in Brooklyn.
But I mean, like in New York proper though.
Yeah,
like you're in Brooklyn in a tent in someone's yard.
Yeah. I mean, the craziest part of this story is that someone has a backyard. I think you're getting caught up on little details.
I mean,
you're getting caught up on tents and like. Anyway,
I mean, I don't know.
So basically,
Yeah, fuck me for getting caught up on the tent. Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That I'm
So-
like, I can't believe someone tried to rent out a tent.
So basically, this dude is in the tent, and then the guy who's listing the Airbnb and has all the like tent people out there comes to his tent in the middle of the night and then just starts chatting with him, just starts like talking to him, which he was like, this can't be going anywhere good, you know? And then while he was talking to him, a guy comes to the backyard who must have just let himself in the house. I have no idea. But comes to the backyard and is like selling this dude drugs in front of the tent. And so he's like, man, this guy's not even trying to like cover it. Like he must not care about reviews at all. Cause you lied that I'd be inside. I'm inside a tent.
Right, yeah.
And then you're selling, you're buying drugs in front of me, directly in front of me too.
Right.
And then the funny thing to me, he was like, imagine if I did drugs, I'd be so offended. You just bought drugs in front of me, didn't even offer me some sort of deal in or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not even making that a part of like, hey, listen, I know I'm making you stay in a tent, but I got this rock.
Yeah. No, man. That was like properly bad. I felt bad for him. He was there for like 3 nights or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
A full on tent. And then there was one where this is when I was on the college tour, and I think I was going to, it was in New Hampshire. Was it Keene? I can't remember where I was in New Hampshire, but I was still doing a little bit of the couch surfing. Do you ever use couch surfing?
No.
Okay. Do you know what it is though?
I've heard of it,
Yeah,
but I
so
never used it.
I was still using couch surfing. I only used it a couple times because it was very hard for me to get reviews, because when people don't know you, they're nervous about letting you stay in their apartment, especially for free. And like, so then I kept trying to like throw in perks. So I'd be like, hey, if you let me stay, I can get you tickets to my show, or I can, you know, whatever the thing was that would help.
Right.
And so I was in New Hampshire. I was looking up places to stay next because I realized I hadn't planned a hotel yet.
Oh, okay.
And I also was still, this is like earlier in the tour, so I don't have the money to really like, I'll just stay at whatever's close when I get there.
Right.
Like
yeah.
this is still a point in my life where I had to like meticulously plan ahead, and I had let this extra day slip through the cracks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I had to like, okay, I'm going to take a bus here to here, and I'm going to like all that routing stuff, which I was also scared to do. Like I ended up paying more because I kept putting it off because I was so scared to do it and get it wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I let a date in New Hampshire slip through the cracks. So I'm already in New Hampshire, and I have to take a Greyhound in the morning for like an hour and a half to get to this next place.
Yeah.
And it's also just so funny because you think of life so differently now, not just because of where a person is like in relation to where they used to be, but also because of what we have now. So like at that time, I didn't even fully understand Airbnb. I knew about couch surfing.
Right.
I didn't even really like try to counter the bus with anything. So I was just like, buses are cheap. Just hopped on a bus. So I'm taking this bus, and as I'm like looking up couch surfing things, I'm like, man, no one's responded to me in time. So I'm gonna have to like maybe get this Airbnb thing people have been talking about.
Right.
And so that might have been the first time I actually put my credit card on Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'd looked up Airbnb before, but this is the first time I've like, okay, I'm gonna have to do it because I can't afford a hotel day of.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just gonna sleep in the bus station or something.
Right.
And so I start looking up some Airbnbs in the area, and that's how I knew I was in a bad area. Like these were horrible in the picture.
Yeah,
if
they're bad in the picture,
they were so bad in the picture that I was like, this is. There was one place that I looked at, I was like, this is drugs. Only drugs could yellow a wall like that.
Yeah.
Like it was like it got to the point where I was like, for you to put it on here, it it had to at least used to have been good.
Right. Either there was no filter on the phone that could fix this color,
Yeah.
or you don't know how to do that, and therefore you can't be a trustworthy management.
Yeah, there was a place where and these are the pictures they're showing you. So they could elect to like try to hide something till you get there. So the pictures they're showing look like someone's been putting out cigarettes just anywhere.
Right.
Like anywhere. And these places are like $45 a night, $50 a night, whatever. And so I'm looking at the prices and I'm like, man, I can't do it though. Like I was like in my head, I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Then someone happened to respond that day from couch surfing. I ended up getting to crash on someone's couch. But that saved me from what we're definitely going to be. Like, no, there was one that was just a dorm. And in the listing of the thing, it was like, this is my dorm. Like it was like someone was openly trying to get everyone to keep their secret. They were like, this is my dorm. Just don't like blow my cover, essentially.
Right.
Is what they were saying.
Especially in those early days, there was a lot of like, because people were just doing it in like apartments where, you know, they didn't own the apartment, they were just staying in it.
Yeah.
Putting it on there. Like, I think now it's more rigorous how you get, you know, I think approved or whatever. Because I remember an apartment I had, two people were just like, why don't you just Airbnb that room? I don't own it. The owner's family lives downstairs. Like, that just sounds like I'm going to absolutely get caught. And the lease says no Airbnb. Like, you know?
Yeah. And
also, like Airbnb, like I guess just put it out there, like it's not good for like neighborhoods and stuff. So it's like,
but like
but sometimes I gotta save money.
It was so rampant. It was so rampant that every place in every state started putting whether or not you could Airbnb your place. Mm-hmm. It's rare that you get something that's that bad that it makes everyone collect, because no law got passed to make people say you have to tell people whether or not you own the Airbnb. Everyone just started being like, this is chaos.
Yes.
So I'm personally just gonna say don't Airbnb it, and then that spread like crazy.
Yeah. Because it's now it's like it's just inviting so much into your home, like or a building you own.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I see that there are better deals. Like there are cheaper ones I could get to that are like it's just a room in someone's place, and I don't fuck with that. So like I never would have done the couch surfing one anyway. I just like my own space too much. And
the couch surfing one is so interesting because it's such a community, and I really appreciate everyone that let me stay with them. I only used it maybe 4 or 5 times in between hotels and Airbnbs and stuff, because then sometimes, like as you know, the college will also sometimes have a hotel for you.
Yeah.
So then that also helped me, because I was like, okay, if I couch surf for the 2 days before I already have a hotel, then I'm like only making money this entire time.
Right.
I only have to worry about my food and the transportation, which I had already planned before I left New York. Mm-hmm. So I was like in a good spot. And yeah, luckily I didn't really have anybody that was weird on couch surfing. Like everyone was pretty much like, I would even ask them, I was like, why do you do this? And then they were like, well, you know, one time I was like stranded in Finland and just a stranger saw me sitting at the bus stop and then let me stay at their place. And ever since then I've been trying to like pass it forward or whatever. And I was like, wow. It was honestly the most altruistic reasons I've ever heard for people doing that.
And I have a feeling you're more likely to be the recipient of crazy, you know, if weirdness if you're the renter rather than the rentee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because most people who are doing that are probably like, either someone just wants the extra money. They're clearly chill enough to just have someone in their house, you know.
But couch surfing, you don't have to pay.
Oh, it's just that's just nice then. That's
what I'm saying.
That is just a nice community.
That's why I was like, this is crazy.
I thought that was like a rent a couch thing. I never did it. I heard of it. I never realized it was just literally just crash on couches. That's nice.
Yeah, there's one of them that you're renting the couch, but then the one that I did was straight up. That's why it was so hard to get people to respond sometimes, because like it's not like people were on it all the time. Some people almost kind of used it like a little bit Facebooky in a way, where they especially if they were world travelers, because I think the way that it started was world travelers trying to help each other out. Like, I
Right.
live in the Netherlands.
Right.
So anyone in our community that comes to the Netherlands can stay with me as long as too many of you don't come at the same time.
Yeah.
So then to jump into that is very hard because
Yeah.
you have to get a lot of reviews for people to trust you,
Yeah.
especially because it's free.
Yes. Okay.
And
that
so-
does add a whole new element to it. That makes it nicer, but then probably
Yeah.
does make it. You got to be a little
That's why I was like,
cagier.
yeah, I was a little scared. Like I remember the first
Yeah.
time I fell asleep at one, I was like, this is it. I should have just spent that $80 and like now I'm about to
I mean,
be murdered.
yeah. I don't know. And you know my everyone does my general dislike of strangers and getting to know people. So crashing on just people's couches. I don't know. There'd be too much pressure. It'd be like, how much do I have to talk to you? How much do I have to like?
I remember
Because I'm not rude. I'm not a rude person, but I like my quiet too. I like to just.
what's the James Franco movie? This one will really bother you. This whole thing. I've talked about this for way too long already. But this story is going to make you very upset. One second.
Okay.
1 second.
The James Franco movie.
Not actually. I don't think you'll actually be angry, but this is. Give me 1 second.
I'm too exhausted to be truly angry about anything right now.
Okay, so you know the James Franco and Jonah Hill movie True Story?
I've heard of it.
Okay. I watched that movie with someone I was couch surfing with, and it was just this very sweet, like incredibly sweet out of a movie, little tiny old woman that that had done like couch surf. She had got on the couch surfing thing.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, someone's got a big dick. All right.
I'm not saying that this is the reason, but this is what it felt like. So I'm not saying she's not a sad person. She was very happy. But it did seem like she would do Airbnb and couch surfing, which is why her couch surfing is even nicer because she can make money off of renting the room and whatever. And sometimes she just chooses to like let somebody stay for free, if, you know. And basically we hung out for like a whole day. It was like,
see, that's the thing. This has Josh Johnson written all over it.
So-
this whole situation. This dude, I've talked before about how long he just will talk to just like people at the reception desk at hotels, and that's a good thing about you. I'm just saying this is a very much a Josh Johnson adventure app.
we hung out
Rent a
all
Josh
day
is
because
what-
I got in, right? And so I get in and man, okay, so just from off the rip, I think that's a fridge.
Oh, is that the? I was like, that's just a new one. I was like, that's
Yeah.
come from that way.
So just off top, I get in and I message her if I can come by a little bit earlier because I was like, hey, I want to just make sure I take a quick nap before my show and everything. And I know I'm getting in early in the day, so when's a good time to check in and stuff?
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, you can come by whenever. I'm just hanging out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I get to the apartment and she lets me in and her daughter is leaving.
Okay.
So her and her daughter had been having lunch, I guess, and her daughter's leaving. And then I sit down and she's like, we have some leftover sandwiches if you want anything. Can I feed you? I was like, oh no, I'm good. It was like hang out with my grandma. And then she just kept trying to feed me. And then we were sitting there. We were sitting there and she started just telling me stories about her family. And it was, before I knew it, it had been an hour. And I was just like, man, this lady's like the coolest.
Yeah.
And she was like, do you have any errands you want to run or anything? Like, I was like, oh yeah, I actually do need to go to CVS. And so
That's nice.
we went to CVS together. We went to CVS together, and so we go to CVS, and
I do not know how you haven't been kidnapped. Like, I don't know how someone truly hasn't taken you hostage. You wonder into these scenarios a lot.
But she's so little. It was hilarious
So she
too
wants you
because
to
she
think.
had a little. It wasn't a donut. but I guess she had an injury, and so she had a little cushion on the driver's seat. But then the cushion also seemed like it was helping her see over the steering wheel. So it looked like it was just serving dual purpose. Like, because she was was like, now you'll have to be patient with me. I walk a little slow because I fell. And the way I had to try not to laugh when she was telling me, because I really didn't want to offend her. Because by now we're like chilling. We're like buds,
you're
right?
best friends now, yeah.
And so then she was like, oh, I fell because... And I've seen something like this happen before, so it makes sense. But basically, she fell, and then she tried to get up quick. She said she felt like if she got up fast enough, she wasn't hurt. And so she fell.
That
is
like perfect, like old person logic.
Yeah, you know, like when you're like, it's like when you're a kid and you trip, but you're embarrassed, and you're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. You try to save it.
Yeah.
And she fell, and she tried to get up so fast that she fell again. Oh. And that's where she really did the damage. And so she was walking a little slow and had like a little bit of a wiggle to, compensate. And he goes, the doctor says I'm going to make a full recovery, but I mean, at my age, what does that even mean?
Yeah, she sounds badass.
Yeah, she was like, if you do your best, you'll still have a 70-year-old hip. And so we go to CVS, and she's like giving me like mild to hot goss on everybody at the CVS. This is a small-ish town.
Oh, okay.
And so she was like, oh, the cashier there used to work at Arby's, but her service was terrible.
See right there. That is why she rents out the couch.
Yeah.
She just wanted people to gossip with.
Yeah.
And clearly
her daughter's heard all of it already.
Her daughter's heard all of it, and if she's talking shit about everyone, she probably don't have a lot of friends. So so I'm going to just let people stay on my couch.
Yeah. But no, she would tell me, so it was the full benefit of a nosy old woman, because she was telling me about people we were passing in the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, we would be passing people in the car on the sidewalk.
Great.
She'd be like, oh, Hill right there. He was... I was like, yeah, because like I also don't care, but also I only saw the back of his head, so it's not like we talked to him and then she's walking. Like
I have no perspective on him. I have not seen this man. I didn't know he was there.
Yeah, like at least the cashier like dropped her cookie to it. Like when she was telling me about the cashier, I was like, oh, that sparked a little memory because of the awkward thing that just happened.
Yeah.
Because she, to be fair to my older friend, the cashier did it was kind of a boss move because it worked for me and then it didn't work for her. So she rang everything up. This is her process, right? The cashier rang everything up and then opened one bag and then tried to slide everything, like scoop everything in the bag. And so I got a bunch of snacks and like a new toothbrush and some stuff. And so for me, it worked because it was like everything I got was small. And then this woman that I'm staying with got many more things. Right. And she still tried it. And so most of it just missed the bag.
Yeah. You can't do it with a gallon of milk. You can't.
she's just like scooping it off the counter, and then it just starts falling. And then as it's falling, she keeps scooping because she's like, some of it's going to land in there.
Yeah.
And then, so then we go back. I invite her to the show.
Okay.
Which she was like, oh, if I come, I'll have to like come a bit later, or you like first or whatever, and like all that stuff. And so she was nice enough to drop me off at the college, and was like, I can pick you back up if you want, and blah blah. And you can ride with me if if I do come to the show.
Also, I pinned my number to your shirt.
Yeah.
So if you get lost, just tell someone to call that.
There's a sign on your back that says you're my son.
Here's a baggie.
And so
got
then
a sandwich in there for you.
I do the show, and I can't remember if she came or not, sadly, because that would be very sweet if she came. Anyway, but I take an Uber back because I just don't, hear from her or anything. And she must not have come because she opened the door when she. Anyway, but then we get back inside, and she's watching, maybe it was HBO or Showtime, and she's like, a movie's about to come on, do you want to watch? And we just watched True Story with James Franco and Jonah Hill, and she just kept gushing on James Franco the entire time. Like, she was like, she would just turn to me and be like, I know he's a murderer in this one, but he's dreamy.
Luckily, he ended up being very cool in real life too.
Yeah, it's it's clearly her Hollywood crush. And then we watched the whole thing, and then
She had to be bummed a couple years ago. If she's still with us.
I guess so. Yeah. Maybe she didn't.
Maybe she passed to miss the fall of James Franco.
What if she wanted it that way? What if she was like, I'd rather die than hear a bad word said about James Franco.
Lose my James Franco.
Yeah. So yeah, we watched True Story, and I'll never
What's that one about?
forget that. That was like very cool. She was like a great stay.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good story. I like that a lot. So maybe I do need to just I don't know, involve myself in people's lives instead of under them.
I guess so. I mean, it's also gone poorly. Like,
Oh, for sure.
like there have been times where
I know. I listened to this show. I know your stories are a real 50-50. Of either something great happens or something inexplicable happens. Hi.
So the next Airbnb that you're going to, has this given you pause? Are you nervous now?
A little, because it's not that far away from the one I'm in now. And the pictures of it, it's a weird setup, but
Yeah.
it does have some amenities. Like, I mean, mainly it has air conditioning, so like that will make me happy. And windows, because it's not a basement unit. So I'll just probably be less just depressed. And this one does have windows in the bedroom, and it looks straight out to garbage. It just looks out straight into the back of the garbage cans. Not even the pile of garbage, but like just the cans are there in front of the windows. So it's not really a view.
So I have one more
Okay.
Airbnb horror that I think
Scare BnB?
maybe we should just stop.
That
the
was a
episode
good one.
now.
That was a good pun.
I'm not even saying it wasn't good. I'm saying that maybe, we've both had a long day.
Right. You're saying nothing can top it. Nothing can top Scare BnB. So we should probably quit while we're ahead is what you're saying. That's what Josh is saying.
Why don't we go out of focus for a second?
Because the light is going away, so it's having trouble.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
It's having a little trouble focusing on both of us. Yeah, let's get real close now.
Yeah, my bad. Did I mess it up by leaning back?
No, that was
Okay.
fine. I was leaning back. I think I was the first one to lean back.
So now there's a light there, so this will be over soon.
Yeah. That's a really hip ice cream truck.
God, this ice cream is really hot. Do they put a lot of cinnamon in it, or? Oh, my mouth's on fire.
God.
So basically, I have a friend. Just for all intents and purposes, let's call him Benny, just so that we can keep the story straight. Okay.
Now, Benny or Binny?
Let's call him Sam. Dick. So Sam was getting an Airbnb because he had to stay for a friend's wedding a couple extra days.
Okay.
And so it was like, it was basically him staying with his friends in a hotel for like 3 nights.
Right.
But then whenever they needed to stay a bit longer, he couldn't float it, so he was downgraded to an Airbnb that was cheaper than splitting the hotel that they were at. Because I guess they got a group deal for everyone that was in the wedding, but then the extra stay wasn't covered by the wedding.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, because you only get that deal when you're blocking off a bunch of rooms. So
Yeah.
it's like you're still putting a lot of money into the hotel, but yeah.
Yeah, and so he stayed for the wedding and then stayed a couple extra days for business and stuff.
Okay.
And he's staying at this Airbnb, and this woman is renting it from the upstairs. So she's upstairs, kind of like your situation. She's upstairs, and then downstairs is the Airbnb. And while he's there, this guy knocks on the door. He comes to the door, and the guy is like, "Who the hell are you?" And
Jesus.
And Sam is like, I'm staying at the Airbnb. He's like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, yeah? Like, what? Who are you? Like, you know that thing where someone starts interrogating you and it takes you a second to be like, wait, why am I answering your questions?
Yeah,
you know?
You have no authority over me, I think.
And then the guy at the door is like, "That I'm asking because there's no Airbnb here." And he's like, "Yeah, there is. It's on Airbnb. I rented it. I got the keys from the person upstairs, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he goes to around, which I guess is how you get to the first floor or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the person he rented from comes down, and then he walks back up to him with the woman that gave him the keys, like, "Who is this?" And she's like, "He's renting the Airbnb." And he's like, "There's no Airbnb here." And she's like, "Yes, there is." And then then the guy is like, "So you're not lying to me, are you?" Like, to him. And he's like, "No." And then she's like, "Stop it." And he's like, "You're not lying to me either, right?" And you're like, "No." And then finally he's like, "Who is this person?" And she says, "This is my ex-husband." And then he's like, "Husband."
There's the whole story in that one assertion.
Yeah.
That is the entire story.
And so he's just standing there now while they argue if there's an Airbnb there. So then
And now they got to argue if they're still married.
Yeah. And so he never got the full story, but he's like, this guy probably thought I was like,
Here to have sex with his wife.
yeah.
Which is clearly a suspicion already on his mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is, how do you leave a good review after that? Like, how do you leave a...
Yeah.
Because you're scared for a second. Because you're like... Because the guy didn't just go like, "Oh, okay," and then walk away. He was like, "Oh,
Right.
all right." It's like he just walked away.
Maybe he was really hoping to be able to stay in the basement for their trial separation, and now this is confirmation that he will not be able to do that.
Now this is just horrible.
You also can't, someone say, "This is my ex-husband." You can't just go, "No, husband." Like, that doesn't fix it.
No, it really doesn't.
That does nothing.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll continue avoiding people. I've gone full circle.
I didn't want to skew you and fill your,
You want to give me optimism for people.
Yeah, no, not worth it.
Should we open up the mailbag quick?
Let's do it.
What do you want to go? We got some new ones, or should we do some of the ones that were for our 100th?
Maybe we do one old, one new.
101 new? Okay. Yeah. Let's see, how old do we want to go here? We'll do this one. This isn't old, but this is from a month back. But this is from Kyle, and it says the title is Fair Fish. And then this is interesting, you got this angle looking.
Just
at
my
me
neck
now.
was starting to hurt.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Starting to hurt bad, and I've been trying to handle it the entire time, and it's been almost an hour.
We could have done this.
No,
from the beginning.
It's fine.
Do you want me to turn this way to you too?
You
Would
don't
that
have
help?
to, because you have to read.
Well, I can.
Why would you do it like that?
I don't know, man.
That's.
But it says, "Hey J-Lo, thought you'd like to hear that I once won the healthiest and strongest fair goldfish to ever live when I was 13 years old." Fair goldfish have come up a few times on this show, so
yeah.
I didn't know this thing would last longer than 2 weeks, so I named him Dinner.
That's dope.
That's a great name.
Wow.
Well, he lived for over 6 years. He survived the harrowing experiences of, and now there's a little bullet point list, 1. Living in a tiny bowl for 2 years. We changed the water weekly by scooping him up in a ladle and keeping him in a soup bowl until the fresh water was conditioned. 2. Overfeeding him. So just 3. My older brother feeding him crushed up Oreos.
That's a dope life, though.
This fish sounds like he's actually doing, like, that's why he kept fighting. He's like, I love these. This is great. Dessert fish food they give me.
Yeah.
The same older brother chasing him with a letter opener. So I'm assuming that means just putting it in the water and trying to...
And just like spinning it around.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's just stirring.
Yeah.
We got him an actual tank-like bowl with a lid to protect him from my psychopath brother. And then finally, a glow stick accidentally leaking into his water. What kind of...
This is probably, like, in fish heaven, he party the hardest. Like,
Yeah.
he's
got
seen
the
things
stories.
other goldfish have never seen.
He finally died when I went to college and my dad was away for the week and my mom, quote, didn't know she was supposed to feed him. She apparently thought he was a plant and not a living water being. R.I.P. dinner. Love y'all, Kyle.
That goldfish might still be alive if it hadn't been for his mother's negligence.
Yeah.
This is the closest thing to a murder.
You need to hold that over her forever. That's what you need to do. And let me look for, let's see, a new one here. Okay, this is real recent. So this is from, where's the name? I guess Don. And the title is Ayo, Heyo, Hello, J-Lo. So
Wow, fire.
points on that title.
Fire.
I was introduced to Josh's comedy via a random ad to my work playlist years ago of his earliest album, I Like You, and have been hooked into his hilarity ever since. Like many have already said before, Logan is the perfect component. I think I'm the perfect component. Okay, so I'm the only thing working about this.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, maybe they mean opponent, but yeah.
I thought companion, but opponent's probably good too. Logan is the perfect component in this podcast for Josh with his unhinged laughter, antagonizing, and overall love and concern for his totes bestie. Come on. Love you.
It looks like there's more there.
There's not. Let's just sit in this for a second.
That's not necessary.
I took my mom and brother to see Trevor Noah at the Foxwood Casino in Connecticut and completely forgot that you opened for him. When you were introduced, I lost my shit and couldn't stop shaking and yelling at my bro and mom in excitement, telling them how hype I was to see you live and in person. Wish I could have hung out there long enough to have raced you on that indoor go-kart track.
Oh, yeah.
Was there an indoor track there?
Did I not tell you about this?
Was that what we talked about last time?
I thought we talked about it, but...
I guess I didn't know it was indoor.
Yeah, it's indoor.
Okay, so from that recent episode.
Yeah.
There you go. I live in PA, but I won't be able to see y'all at the Punchline in Philly next week because I work second shift during the weekdays, and that weekend I'll be in DC cosplaying at an anime convention.
Okay.
Quit your job. Do the anime convention. Quit your job. Come on out. Nothing but the best of luck to you both, and hope to meet y'all face to face one day. Rating 69 nice weebs out of 5 weebs.
Thank you so much, Don.
P.S. question.
Yeah.
Have either of you attended any conventions, whether an anime, game, etc.? And who would y'all be willing to cosplay as if you did? Have you ever been to an anime convention or comic book convention?
Yeah, I've been to a couple. What did I go to? I went to one that was in Lafayette, Louisiana. I can't remember the name of it. And I think I've been to something called, I can't remember what it was. It was like half comic books, half old. Like it was a comic book convention, but it was like half like comic books and then half super old like TV nostalgia stuff. So they'd be like, I was an extra on Knight Rider, that thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, just kind of a regular
but I have
convention.
been to one. I've been to 2 technically because I went to Comic-Con in 2016, the New York Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to that one in Lafayette in like 2009 maybe.
Okay.
But yeah.
I've never been to a comic book I don't think I've been to any convention like that. Do car shows count? We got car shows with my dad a lot, so that's like a car convention.
It's not really the same thing at all, but
I mean, people are dressed up there like
like
hillbillies. I mean, I think that's just how they dress. But
yeah, this whole thing is not car convention Comic-Con.
Okay, but now to answer the second part of that question, though, who would you cosplay as?
Someone said, who's the electric shock superhero that's not Black Lightning? It's Static Shock. Yeah, people have said I look like Static Shock.
What's he from?
I think DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
sure DC.
Okay.
What about you?
Who would I cosplay as? I don't know. What could I pull off? Some kind of sitcom dad.
I think maybe like a dad from Yes Dear.
I don't know, Mark Lynn Baker from Perfect Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I could probably, if I cut some hair, I could do early season Hopper from Stranger Things, maybe back when he was when he was still thicker.
Did he get skinny?
Yeah, he's skinny now. Yeah, because he got ripped for.
I'm very behind.
No, sorry. Well, yeah, he's ripped this season. They worked in the storyline, but also he got ripped for the Black Widow movie. And
when you say ripped, do you mean like pants ripped from all the weight that he gained?
No.
He's very big in Black Widow. He's like out of shape in Black Widow.
But he's like way thinner than he was. Maybe he lost it for Stranger Things then. But no, he's much thinner now than he was.
I like to think some actors.
He's way more fit because he had a gut though, like in the early days of Stranger Things, and now he's pretty fit now because he did it for Hellboy too. I guess Hellboy's probably what he bulked up for, is what he got.
Yeah, because I like to think that some actors just get fit for them.
I mean, I think, that ends up being the like bonus,
Yeah.
I'm sure it helps if someone else is like, kind of footing the bill for it. But that was kind of like everyone always thought that Kumail Nanjiani got ripped because like Marvel made him, but like they didn't care. They wanted him to just be him, but he's like, nah, I'm going to get jacked. So like that's another thing for him to just be like, nah, don't worry, I'm going to get ripped.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, Josh J Comedy on Facebook, Josh Johnson on Twitter, and Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok and YouTube, where we're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag like those people there, you can email us joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. And if, say, I don't know, next week, let's say Wednesday, the 27th, around 10 p.m.-ish, if you feel like meeting us in person, you can come out to Union Hall in Brooklyn. We are doing a live, in-person Josh Johnson show. So we're going to do some stand-up, and then we're also going to do a full episode. We're going to do a full recording of us doing the show with an audience. We did it last year, and it was an absolute delight.
And if you can't make it to that, if you can't be at that,
sadly you're busy. You're busy next Wednesday or something
because you're in Philly. We're going to be in Philly right after that.
Oh my God, for 3 whole days.
Yeah, in Philly for 3 whole days from the 27th to what?
28th to the 30th is what we're doing shows. So
and
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You got 1 show on Thursday. You got 2 shows Friday and Saturday. That's 5 chances to so in that chunk of days, that's 6 chances to come see us in person.
And if you don't do it, you just didn't want to. You
just didn't want it bad enough. And we all know it. You won't be a champion like the child that is above me at my Airbnb.
We hope to see you there. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great rest of the week.
Y'all are the best. See you later.
Hey friends, I'm going to be hosting The Daily Show again this week, October 7th, 8th, and 9th, Tuesday through Thursday. And I want to take a quick second to say thank you, because the last time I hosted, my very first time, so many of you tuned in You told people, TiVoed, if that's still a thing. So many people watched that we actually set a ratings record. And that was really, really special because I love Daily Show. I love all of you, and to be able to bring those two things together, to be able to set records your very first time doing something is special, but to do it with you was incredible. I look forward to bringing these Daily Show shows to you this week and the video, because you're already watching. You might as well keep watching. Just let it play. I'll see you.
Give it up for Josh Johnson!
I don't know if y'all have seen, but people are losing their minds. People are losing their minds because Bad Bunny is going to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show. This is incredible. The level of upset. You ever see somebody get so mad that you're like, this is just weird? Like, not even, we're past like the levels of angry I expect you to get, and we're into a new realm where it knocks me out of even any sort of reactionary response. I'm more just like, are you okay? One time, I was at a McDonald's, right? And this dude, he must have wanted the pickles that come with the sandwich. They come with the sandwich. He got a hamburger, comes with a pickle. His hamburger didn't have a pickle. And I don't know what else was happening in his life. Maybe he usually handles disappointment very well. Maybe they caught him on the wrong day. Maybe they, you know what I mean? Maybe this man's been through a lot, and this is finally the thing that made him snap. This is possible. Everybody has their line, everybody has their limit, and some people's limit, you wish that your limit would come when it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? You want your limit to come when something actually happens, you know? Like, you want your limit to come when it's like, maybe you've lost your job, you don't know what you're gonna do next, rent is due, and your dad is passed, and it's just all happening at one time, and then you lose it. That's when everybody would understand you losing it. But instead of losing it when you're supposed to lose it, some people stay strong. They don't let on that they're about to lose it. And so then they go to McDonald's. And they order a burger. And then they realize their burger doesn't have a pickle. And then all the injustice in the world comes out. All at once in this McDonald's. And so now you're screaming in front of a bunch of strangers because you don't have a pickle. And we all know that you know you don't have the pickle, not because you opened the sandwich to check, just in case you were like, hey, is the world fair today where there'll be a pickle on my sandwich? No, you know there's not a pickle because you ate half the sandwich and you haven't hit pickle yet. And so you finally open the sandwich, just give it a look. Be like, maybe this is a slippery one. Maybe this pickle's sneaky. You know, they supposed to put it on top of the cheese before the bun, maybe under the condiments, but maybe this one, oof. Maybe this one's sneaking in there between the meat and the cheese. Who knows, right? And then you open the sandwich, you realize you've had no pickle. You realize you've been looking forward to pickle this entire hamburger, and it was never gonna come. It was never gonna come. It was never gonna come, just like your job isn't coming back, just like... No, it's all coming back in real time. It's like the pickle is almost this unintentional metaphor, like the pickle is missing the way your father is missing in your life because he's gone now. And so you just start letting it all out. It just comes out. You start screaming at someone behind the counter who is 17. Just someone who is beginning their life. Someone who has the whole world ahead of them. And you used to have the whole world ahead of you as well. But then life happened and it came at you so fast you weren't sure what you were doing when you were doing it. And so now at home you have somebody that you're married to that like y'all are almost like strangers passing in the hallway, and you have 2 kids, but you don't really see yourself in them at all. And so now you wonder if maybe you were too hard on your dad and you wish you could tell him that, but he's gone. And so is the pickle. The pickle's not in there. The pickle is supposed to be here, right? And that's why you end up screaming at this 17-year-old at the top of your lungs to the point where people are recording you on their phone, which is never great. Your life never gets better after that. That's never the beginning of something wonderful. It means you're probably about to lose the next job before you even get it because you've lost your job and you're going to apply for more. You might even apply here. They won't hire you. But the next job you apply for, they're going to look this up. They're going to put your name in Google, and then this video will come up of you screaming at this 17-year-old that you accidentally called dad. And that's a tough part about not snapping at the right time. If you had snapped 15 minutes ago at home, everybody would get it. Somebody might even hug you. But now you're in McDonald's and they're just calling the police. No, it's tough. It's tough. What I'm trying to say is people have snapped over Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl halftime show, a no pickles in my hamburger at McDonald's amount. And it is stressful to watch. I understand why the NFL's doing. The NFL is trying to expand its reach and everything. What better way than with Bad Bunny? But Bad Bunny is over here, like he's defiant in a way that I think is very special. Because Bad Bunny is doing this like record-breaking tour right now. And he's not doing it in the US, you know? And I think a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people are like they're like, why won't he come? Why won't he do MSG? Why won't he? And it's like, and you know, he's been asked about it in interviews, and he said a couple things that also are gonna are gonna irk exactly who he's trying to irk. Because they asked him, like, why aren't you touring? We looked at the dates. Where's Chicago? Where's LA? Where's New York? You know? And why aren't you touring in the US? And then he said, because it's just not necessary. Not necessary to tour in the center of the universe, according to us. Not necessary. Ooh, that was a gut punch. Not necessary. Ooh. Don't worry, I'll be making plenty of money around the world. You know the rest of the world. Like literally. They had other people ask him. And he was like, hey, look, I don't do shows here right now because I don't need ICE hanging outside of my shows trying to do some sort of sting or something like that. I want my people to be safe and everything. In fact, if you want to see me bad enough, I'll be doing a bunch of shows in Puerto Rico. You can come to Puerto Rico. And plenty of people were like, Puerto Rico? Where's that? Because it's actually terrifying. It is like bone-chilling scary how many people who live in the U.S., like U.S. citizens that don't know what land the U.S. has. It's like, I don't know what civics class or what, is it just geography? How are we failing the youth and the elderly? Like, it's like, because it's not like you can just blame it on the kids. Grown people also don't know. This is crazy. All right, look, just bring you up to speed, okay? Real quick. And I'm not judging anybody because I might even have the dates wrong, okay? But in 1898, at the end of the Spanish-American War, America got Puerto Rico. So already, territory, Puerto Rico, right? 1917, Puerto Ricans gained U.S. citizenship. 1952, Puerto Rico became like a sort of commonwealth, which I guess a lot of people miss because like we don't have a king or we didn't have a king or like whatever, but like, but just like simple, that's the status. So if you are Puerto Rican, you are a U.S. citizen, okay? And that is also why when people were upset, they were like, why can't somebody from America do the halftime show? And look. Listen to me. The people screaming that are coming from a very specific place. They have watched the Super Bowl religiously, and the last few years have watched it get blacker. And I understand. After Kendrick, they were like, it's black now. Is it finally black enough? You blacked it. You did it. It's been blacked. All right? That's enough. It's been black, and I watched it. I didn't get it. But it was black, and you had it. Can we have one? Because I don't think you're gonna get blacker. So it's gotta be our turn again. And they thought, surely, that time was coming. You know? After Kendrick, next one gotta be, you know what I mean? Yeah. Next one gotta be the one that does that song with the twang to it that you really like. Gotta be. Come on, we even look. You did it. So I did all that rapping. I let rapping in my house just because it was a Super Bowl halftime show. That's as black as it's gonna get. I refuse to let it get any blacker, all right? These people were like, it can't possibly get blacker. And then they were like, all right, I'll raise you no English. Oh, you think you're mad now? Ooh, we gonna make you pray for Kendrick. We gonna make you. Ooh, Kendrick, please hit us with some symbolism. I don't even understand what's going on now. Oh, no, this is so funny. They're so mad. They're mad in a way that's like, I don't even know, like even if I wanted to help, I wouldn't even know where to start. Because what are you so mad about? It's like, because it's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl. It's not Spanish Bowl. It's Super Bowl. What's next? I love what's next, by the way. People love to take a thing that's actually happening and then do a hypothetical that'll never happen off of what's next. You see Bad Bunny's doing a Super Bowl halftime. What's next? You gonna make Superman Mexican? That's what's next. That's definitely gonna happen. What's next? What's next? You know what I mean? What's that? Because it's scary. It's scary. You know, you watch the Super Bowl halftime show, these people might, by accident, learn some Spanish. Then what's next? If I learn the Spanish, what's next? If I learn the Spanish, what happens then? Because if I learn the Spanish, then when people are speaking Spanish, I'll know what they're saying, and there's no way they're saying anything nice about me. But no, people losing their minds. I can't believe it. Spanish? He's gonna speak Spanish? I'm gonna have to sit there and listen to somebody sing and rap in Spanish? I already had to listen to rap. You know what that was like for me? You know what that was like for me to hear rap in between the game I bet on? I'm gonna have to sit there and listen to somebody Spanish. I'm gonna have to sit there listening, watching the Super Bowl halftime show to Spanish. I'm gonna have to sit there with my guacamole and my chips in my lap, listening to Spanish. I am gonna have to sit there while I eat the tacos that I Uber Eats to my place, listening to Spanish. The idea that I could have a deluxe crunch wrap and have to listen to Spanish is crazy. Not in my America. Spanish? Are you serious? I can't believe I'm gonna have to listen. I want all the Spanish in my mouth. I don't want it in my ears. Which has like pretty much been the approach of a large portion of the U.S. for a long time. So much of the culture, so much of what people like about a culture that they're willing to take in, they try to do as best as possible to the exclusion of the people that the culture's actually from, right? So you'll see how people of Latin descent have been treated in this country the entire time, while we fall in love with more and more and more and more of their stuff. You know what I mean? And it's something that obviously happens to black people. It's something that's happened to Asian Americans and everything, but it's something that doesn't always get addressed, is that if you loved what we make, then just love us. We made it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing to love almost every aspect of a culture and then meet the person who created that culture and be like, I don't know if I trust you though. I just kind of want all your stuff at my house. It's like, oh, I love that thing that you do. I'd probably just take it. What if I took it and then pretend it was mine? Wouldn't that be dope? What if I take it so hard that one day I tell you about it? No, I tell you about it and then I tell you you're doing it wrong because it's actually... No, what if you have your entire culture with a different understanding of everything, a different understanding of the world because it's from a different lens, and it's also from perspective of a people who have built a very rich heritage and everything. And what if one day I stop by, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I'll take some of that. And then when I say it back to you, and you're like, that's actually not how you say it, I'm like, I think I know how to say it. All right, I'm very familiar with the Latin X culture, all right? Huh. Please, that's sweet of you to try to help me, but I'm well-versed. Oh. That's wild, because that was the laugh. All right. No, because you see, Bad Bunny moves in a way that's very intentional, and he has the loyalty of his fans and his people because of how he moves. Because there are plenty of people that truly, and I'm not saying this from a place of judgment, I'm saying it just from noticing. There are people who truly forget where they come from as soon as they get success. It is a very, sadly, once again, it's a very American mindset to have that as long as you get taken care of, as long as you're okay, you can leave whatever behind, and you're out now. And you're out, you made it out. And then you start to rationalize in your head, well, if I made it out, then people just have to do what I did to make it out. I'm not special. And they'll be able to take care of themselves. And then all of a sudden you're gone. And there's not a real building of community. There's no upward mobility for the people around you. You just up and went, right? And look, it's also a very hard thing to do to try to bring everybody with you. Plenty of people have gone bankrupt trying to do so. You see us like, and I've done it from time to time. I'm not innocent of this thing. So once again, I'm not judging. But you see us with entertainers and athletes, we'll judge them for like going broke quickly, and we always make the assumption it was because they made stupid decisions. Maybe they bought one chain, and then we're like, well, they were out here buying chains, and so now they're broke, and so. But more often than not, what happens, and what a lot of people don't talk about, what a lot of people don't give them credit for, is one of the reasons that they went broke is that this new money, it's a lot of money, but this new money tried to bring everyone with them at the same time. We're not able to set up systems for everybody to succeed. And so then everybody was broke in like 5 years' time. It's because of their heart that they were broke. It's because of their intention to try to bring everybody with them that they aren't in some mansion somewhere, Essentially, you had something like that happen to MC Hammer. There were a lot of people that hear how much money MC Hammer made and then how much he lost, and they thought to themselves, oh, he must have been balling out or something. He probably deserved to lose all that money. Then you hear interviews with MC Hammer. He talks about his business and everything. He talks about the people that he hired. This man hired family. He hired friends from the hood. Just try to give them jobs, either to keep them out of trouble or just get them some money because he knew that they would do the right things with their money. But he's one man. He's one man, and eventually you can't have all these people on the payroll. You can't have all this money going out when not enough is coming in, when not enough is coming back, and so eventually you do lose everything. So it's an admirable thing, and it's a smart thing to say, hey, if you want to see me, come spend your money here. Come to Puerto Rico. You can come do the shows. Anybody can come. We'll have a good time here. You see Bad Bunny thinking ahead. I'm not going to do shows in a place that has these like ICE raids and everything. Because also in Chicago, there was an ICE raid of this apartment complex. And in the apartment complex, they grabbed everybody. They grabbed everybody in the worst way. They zip-tied kids. Some kids, scared, crying, terrified. Nobody knew what was happening. They entered the building with flashbangs and everything, all because they said that they were there for, I think, like 6 members of some gang. Trend Day, Aragua, I'm trying to pronounce it the way the president pronounces it. Tren Dayara. Wow. They were there for them. And look, I don't even know if that's true because apparently they didn't show anybody any warrants, you know? So maybe that's just something they said for later after they went ahead and did the raid. But they zip-tied, they held black and brown people alike, you know? And that's the other thing. It's like pretending that somebody's fight is not your fight is only going to work for so long. Like, pretending something is not your problem will make it your problem very soon. Because already Supreme Court has pretty much ruled that ICE can profile so they can grab who they need to grab, right? And it's like, okay, well, what does an American look like to the people who are grabbing people? You know what I mean? Because, I don't know, I feel like I have some pretty good diction. But I could probably still get zip ties. You know, if we're going off of looks, it won't really matter that I'm like, sir, please, I'm an American citizen. Because you see what's happening. You see what's happening now with ICE in Chicago. You see what's happening even with the announcement that Bad Bunny is going to be doing the Super Bowl. You have, Corey Lewandowski saying that ICE is going to be at the Super Bowl as well. And it's like, all right, but what's the point of that? What's the point? Because you know all of the criminal illegal aliens, because that's what they're supposed to be about, right? You know all the criminal illegal aliens every year that score tickets to the Super Bowl. You know. You can't swing a stick without running into a criminal illegal alien with Super Bowl tickets. You know criminal illegal aliens love the Super Bowl. They love rolling up to the Super Bowl. Got my tickets right here. And no other form of identification. You know criminal illegal aliens. They can't stop going to the Super Bowl. In fact, every year I'm like, when are they gonna do something about these criminal illegal aliens enjoying the game while I'm sitting at home because the tickets are like $10,000 just to see? Can't stand criminal illegal aliens having all the money and using it on the Super Bowl. That's an irresponsible purchase. You're not even supposed to be here, Mr. Criminal Illegal Alien, and you going to the Super Bowl instead of hard-working Americans that can't afford to go to the Super Bowl. And we should know that, like, no one is coming to save us in that way. This is everybody's problem, and there's not enough of a travesty. There won't be enough rights that are violated. There won't be enough unconstitutional things happening that's just going to make the people doing it go, whoops. That's not going to happen. They're not just going to stop. You know, they zip-tied kids. Kids who were born here. Because this was never about what they said it was about. You know? I look at ICE the way I look at, like, season 6 of Ghost Hunters. You're looking, but you're not going to find what you're looking for because you made it up, you know? It's a very scary thing. Because don't get me wrong, look, plenty of ICE agents are over here masked up, top to bottom. Can't identify who they are. It's not like they're wearing a badge. It's not like they have their name, all over them or just on the front or anything like that. And some of them clearly built like stormtroopers. And then some are built like mall cops. Like there's a couple. I don't know if you saw that video of that young man that was running from ICE and hopped on his bike and rode away, but at a certain amount of running, you have to accept that you didn't catch the person. And as someone who had friends that got into trouble, I've watched my fair share of mall cop chases. And these mall cop chases, I don't have them on my phone. They're from memory. They're up here. But they usually start a similar way. They usually start with, what's that? What'd you say to me? And then, just far enough away, they say it again. And so then, mall cop leans forward, and then whether you're on your skateboard or you're on foot, you start making some moves. And as you run, they run. And when they run, they realize they shouldn't run. It's a battle. It's a battle for them to run, and you can tell because the kick. Okay, I'm not a runner. I'm not an athlete in that way, but I'll tell you right now that okay. When you watch runners, when you watch like a Usain Bolt, like an Olympic runner, and they start off and they have a foot up and everything, got the foot up, the hands down, looking up, and then I don't know why they put the butt up. You see they put the butt up and they're down, but then they're like, ugh. I know this isn't true. I knew this isn't true, but when I was little, a friend told me that they do that so that they can fart before they run. It's clearly not real. But he's like, no, you don't want that air getting out and it knocking you off course. It didn't sound true when I was 7, but I did believe it for like 2 years. Because I was like, they do it every time. I don't know. They, get down, they get up, they do that thing. I'm not doing it right. They do that thing. And then they fire off the gun, and then they're like sliding at first, and then they just shoot off. They're running so fast, right? And when a mall cop starts to run, it's similar but different. Because he will do this. But that's because he almost fell. He got knocked off balance reaching for you. All right? So now he... And then he does like kick up a little bit. That is a fart. And then he starts to take off and chase you. The problem is, I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens when you take up the badge of mall enforcer. I don't know what happens to your right foot. I don't know what happens to your left foot. But they stop speaking to one another. And in these mall cop chases, I've seen plenty of them kick off, up. Into a food court table. And that's what it looked like, because my man kicked off on the bike and he wasn't even pedaling fast at first. Still seemed like he was talking. Do you know how embarrassing that is to run after somebody who isn't even breaking enough of a sweat to stop talking to you? And then they also ran after this man for too long. At a certain amount of somebody getting away, you gotta just let them get away. The clip became more embarrassing because they kept running. I'm like, now he on the bike, now he pedaling. You didn't catch him when he was pushing a bike. You're not gonna catch him when he's on a bike. There's a huge difference between those two things. Pushing a bike, he all encumbered. He gotta figure out when to like throw the leg over and everything. Now he's on the bike. He's gone. He's gone. The only thing that could make that video more perfect is that dude, And he pedaled all the way to the Super Bowl halftime show. Anaheim, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Hey friends, I was actually off the road last weekend, so we're still dropping an unreleased set, but stay tuned afterwards because I'm going to be answering some of your questions from the internet. And if you have other questions that I don't get to, you can drop them in the comments. And if you have any questions at all, just keep being cool to each other. See you in a bit.
I've also been obsessing over that lady on TikTok who was digging in her yard and found that rug. Like, in case you didn't see this, there's a woman that was on TikTok, right? And this will be important later, but she's white, all right? And basically, she was making TikToks for like her fans and her friends and stuff. And in one of her TikToks, she she comes onto the TikTok and she's like, y'all, I think my house is haunted. Okay? And then she starts giving her reason, and she does a little tour of her office where all these things are moved that aren't supposed to be moved. She's like, I'm the only one that comes in here, and this is here, and it's usually up here, and then this is moved over here. And then when I opened my laptop, the laptop was like cracked from the inside. Like and you could see it. It was like corrupt, like it looked like ink had been spilled. It was so shattered on the inside, right? And she was like, I don't know. I think I have a ghost. And in my head, I'm watching this, and I'm just sort of pulling from life experience. I'm just kind of like, you ain't ever been robbed before? Like, and so then, another TikTok she makes after that is she's digging in her yard. I think they're moving a fence or something, and then they hit something, and then they look at what they hit, and it's like this rug that's been buried underground, right? And it's a thick rug too. And then she's like, making a TikTok being like, isn't this weird? And I was like, that's a body. That's clearly a body, okay? And then this is the thing. When it comes to every person has different speeds that they operate at, right? You catch them on one day, they might react to you a certain way, another day a certain way. But some people do have like defaults, right? So one thing that's happened in the last like 4 years especially is that anytime a white woman's talking, we jump to Karen pretty quick, right? Like, there's Karens out there, but then sometimes someone will just have a menu and be like, does this one have gluten? And we're like, Karen! Like, that's... It's appropriate when it's appropriate, it's not appropriate when it's not appropriate, right? But for everything, there is its opposite, okay? And I think that for us, we do need to start talking about the complete opposite, because we all know this person. We all know the white woman who doesn't want to make a big deal out of anything. We've all met this person. She could literally be on fire. And she's like, y'all, I'm just warm. Like, no. You are in danger, Bethany. Let us help you. You know what I mean? Like, she could call you. She could call you in the middle of a robbery. She's at the bodega. It's getting robbed right now. And she calling you being like, oh, no, I don't want to bother her. Just if you get around to dialing those, like, 3 numbers, it would be really helpful. And this is who we have on our hands in this situation, because I'm not the only one, right? I see the thing and I'm like, that's a body. And then everyone else in the comments is like, girl, that's a body. And this is the thing about internet comments in general, right? At best, almost
all the time. Random comments on the internet are at least not helpful. They're at least not doing anything for you when you read them, or when you posted them, they're not actually good feedback. Yeah, I mean, like it happens a lot, especially because the internet's just out for everybody, you know? Especially on a place like TikTok. People stumble onto your stuff and then they just comment on it, whatever they think. It might have nothing to do with what you're talking about, you know? Like, as an example, years ago, I bought some nunchucks. And I was watching a tutorial on how to nunchuck. And the dude's tutorial was good. He wasn't hitting himself at all. He knew exactly what he was doing, right? But then I went down to the comments to see if it was as helpful to other people as it was to me. And none of the comments had anything to do with nunchuck. The top comment was like, support the troops. And it's like, sure, but how'd you get that from this? So for all of her comments to be like, girl, that's a body, I think you should listen. Yeah? She made another TikTok where she was like, another really weird thing that happened was that my stepson was like going to bed and he went to plug in his phone. And when he woke up in the morning, instead of the phone being on 100%, it was on 3%. And you know how ghosts can suck up energy? I'm like, no, we're past this. We're past this. It's a body. It's a body. And once again, she was doing that white woman thing, trying to not make a big deal because, guys, I don't think it's a body. She says, I don't think that it's a body. I'm like, you think it's a ghost. It being a body helps your thing too. Every ghost used to have a body. Why are you acting like we're the dumb ones? And so then she makes another TikTok where she's like, okay, y'all, I called the police. And it's funny because she describes like calling the police and stuff. And when she called the police and told them the situation, I was digging in my yard and I was trying to move this fence. I hit the rug, whatever, and the rug's very thick. We can't just, because that's the other thing. She can't just pull it up. It's so heavy that it's like, it's down there. She would have to dig more to even expose more rug to even try to pull it up. And she tells the police that, and the police are like, that's not like a body. And so the police come out, right? And I am not a cop. I don't know how police work actually works. I don't know what procedure is or anything. All I know is what I saw in the video, because she was also making a TikTok out of the police coming and checking out the hole. And the police, when they got there, I don't know what exactly they were doing, but they were doing that thing where, you know, like when they have their hands in their vest? And so there was one cop that walked up and he was like, that might be a body. So police look it over, because cops came twice, right? Police look it over. Then part is fuzzy. I don't know what actually happened linking these two things. I don't know if the police said this to her before they left or if they called later and told her this, but basically they were like, look, it's a hole. I get that you're invested and that it's the rug, but we don't have the resources to just like do some big dig in your backyard for a case that's like not an open case or anything. There's not like some missing person or something. So we just, if you want to dig, if you want to dig and then call us if you find something, You can, but like, we're not gonna. And I mean, look, in this case, it was just the rug. It's not like a foot was hanging out or something, you know what I mean? And so then that was sort of that. And so she makes another TikTok where she talks to people and she's like, hey, listen, I know that y'all are all invested. I know that this is weird, but I don't have the money to just dig up my whole backyard just to try to find out what this is, because in the case that it's nothing, I dug up my whole backyard and then I have to pay to, because it was also like going in the direction of her fire pit too, which means she would have had to pull up all that stuff. So she was like, I don't know where this sort of leaves us, right? And she makes another TikTok not too long after that, because what has happened through social is that we're all talking. We're all like, listening's a strong word, but we're all talking. All right? But you gain the interest, and you can intrigue people from all over the world, right? And so as people are getting more and more invested in this thing, she makes another TikTok a little while later where basically someone was watching her last TikTok about how, yeah, she didn't have the money to just dig up her whole yard and everything. And so then they messaged her and they were like, hey, I own a construction company. I'll dig. I will not be left on a cliffhanger, all right? Digging is what I do. And so then, the next TikTok is her basically being like, hey, this person with this construction company said that they would come over and dig and help me figure it out and everything. So go ahead and tune back in, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go live and we'll find out together. This is what's really jarring about that, right? Is that TV used to be TV. You used to get your entertainment from TV, and TV was a thing. You used to buy the TV and know that all the TV would happen on TV. But now, slowly, over time, we're TV. Whether we mean to be or not. There's plenty of people who have realized they were TV in real time and been like, I messed up. I did not want to be TV today. TV used to, we're spoiled. We're used to 24-hour news. We're used to 24-hour programming, even pay programming. When a channel runs out of TV ideas, they're like, well, we'll let this person try to sell you something for 3 hours. You know what I mean? TV used to just have a few channels, too. TV used to have like 5 channels. And they didn't even have a lot of ideas. The TV would be like, guys, we're done. TV, you would have your TV on, but TV would be off. Because they just didn't have any more programs. They were like, you know what it is. We'll see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Go to bed. What are you doing up? Why are you still up right now? You have a problem. You need to see somebody, a doctor maybe. You probably have insomnia because you have left this TV on all night knowing that the Dick Cavett show only goes so late. And I didn't know about any of this. My grandpa was telling me, you know what I mean? But like, he was like, yeah, you used to, that used to be how you knew you had a sleeping problem. And now, she's opened herself up to the fact that, like, this incident has made her TV. She even said, tune in at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I was like, you have commercials too? Damn. And then soon after that, she makes another TikTok where she's like, okay, all right. So I got a call, construction company calls, but I got another call from homicide. And a part of me was like, duh, it's a body. But she's like, I got a call from homicide that basically they said that they don't know who the last 2 officers were communicating with because it wasn't them. They must have talked to somebody else who told them to tell me what they told me. Homicide heard about the case, and they were like, we would very much like to check. That's like our whole job, to check if that's a body. And so we're gonna come tomorrow, and they basically tell her, they're like, hey, if we find something, this will turn your house upside down. Are you prepared for that? And she was like, yeah, I want to get to the bottom of this thing. It's been like on my mind, and we're not just curious. It's like this could potentially be terrifying, And so they're like, okay. And if we don't find anything, then you're free to let the construction company dig and just see, like, get to the bottom of what maybe is dinosaur bones. Who knows, right? So the next day comes, and she says in the TikTok, she's like, look, so still tune in at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I don't know what you're going to be watching. So sure enough, homicide comes. They bring the detectives. They also bring the cadaver dogs, right? And both cadaver dogs signal at the spot in the rug, right? And they even did in different ways, because I don't really know. I don't know much about cadaver dogs. All I know is that the first dog, he seemed a bit junior. Do you know what I mean? That first dog was just a little too happy-go-lucky. You know what I mean? Like he really showed up and was like, oh, what a beautiful day. It's wonderful just be in a yard and be able to run around, stretch your legs, and hang out with your friends and stuff. Oh! Y'all, this is just my opinion. I think that's a body. Second dog comes out, must have been more senior dog. They must bring two just to make triple sure, you know what I mean? Because second dog comes out much calmer, at least to me. I had more of a dignified gait to his walk. Walking around. Yep, that's a body. Ooh, y'all, come get me. That's a body. And it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to be like a police dog because you don't know you have a job. Think about a police dog, just a dog. They think they're chilling. They think their life is normal. They only have like wild reactions once in a while, Like I wonder what it would be like to take a police dog to like just the dog park. Have him converse with other dogs and stuff. Running around. That house dog is like, hey, how you doing? Looking good, I love a pup in uniform. Oh, this? Oh, yeah. I wear it all the time. That was, you come to this park often. Oh, yeah, every day. Every day, me and my pal come here, and then, we lets me run around, and then we walk home, and then he feeds me treats, and I take a nap, and the police dog's like, nap? What's that? Oh, when you just get tired and you fall asleep whenever you want. And it's like, okay, must be nice. And you said your owner gives you treats. What kind of treats? House dog's like, oh, all the treats. It's incredible. I get like the beef treats and the chicken treats. I go crazy for the tuna treats. I try to play it cool, but I can't. They're too good. Sometimes I'll play hard to get, but then I'm a sucker for the tuna treats. Do you get treats? And police dog's like, yeah, I get treats all the time. What kind of treats do you get? Police dog's like, mostly cocaine. Because one of the dogs that they have sniff for the cocaine, and so I'm running all in the house checking for the cocaine. I usually get there first, and so sometimes I take a little off the top, you know what I mean? A couple extra sniffs. You know, it's gotta be wild. It's gotta be wild to think as a police dog, you just going for a walk. And they're like, smell this. Oh, okay. See what else smells like this out here. You're like, oh, all right. You just on nice stride, you know, running with your pal, and then out of nowhere you're like, something over here smells like, oh my gosh, that's a body. So both the cadaver dogs signal, right? And when they signal, you know, she's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, she's really taken it back. And I think that's also the first time that this becomes like real, because I think, you know, I can't say what was going on in her head, but I can imagine that, like, at the time you're just kind of going through the motions and having your own little true crime thing. But then when there's really something there and it becomes real, like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrifying. And then the police even come over and they're like, hey, you might want to stop recording. And so she makes another TikTok hours later where she's like, hey, I'm sorry I left y'all on a cliffhanger. You know, police were like, hey, maybe you want to stop recording. So I stopped recording and everything. But yeah, there's just people all over my house and stuff. And it was just like, I think it was all hitting her at once. And it must have been overwhelming, you know? And she's even saying to the camera, she's like, and the police, you know, they appreciate the fact that I'm the one that called them and stuff like that. So it's not like they're looking at me or anything. I was like, nope. Call a lawyer. 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 Call a lawyer now. Put the phone down and call a lawyer. Don't talk to me. Call a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Stop talking to me. Call a lawyer. That's a lot to assume. That's a lot to assume. Hey, guys, I just found this body. Like, I have nothing to do with it. You know? And it's got to be tough. Like, I really did try to put myself in her shoes. You know, it's got to be horrific to find something like that, what it might be, all that stuff. I think about what any of us might do. You know what I mean? Maybe not make a TikTok about it, but like what any of us might do. Like, I think about what I would do. I'm a homeowner. I'm moving my fence, you know, and then hit this rug. A rug, by the way, that had a tree planted on top of it. I think about what I would do, right? As Josh, and even more importantly, maybe, as like a black dude in America. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd be like, yeah. I didn't kill him. You know? So then they like properly excavate and they do a whole dig, and it turns out it's not a body. Isn't it weird to be disappointed? Isn't it kind of weird to be disappointed that somebody's not dead? It's not a body at all. It was a rug that had a tree planted over it that was buried, which, I'm not gonna lie, is way weirder. That's so much more jarring now. There's so many more questions I have now. We understand, it's not right, but we understand how people get got. Like, we kind of, like, there's a part of you, maybe you're in the mob or something like that, but this thing is way weirder. That means that your house was previously owned by a freak. That just means that there was someone that owned your house that was burying rugs and planting trees on top. What else were they doing? Licking banisters? What goes through the mind of somebody who buried? What kind of witchcraft is that? I want answers. She gonna be retiling her roof years from now, and there's gonna be a piece of bologna under every tile. What kind of cartoon house is this?
I work at Daily Show Monday through Thursday, and then we go on the road Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. And so I know that it's a lot, but it's also everything I've been trying to do this entire time. Like, these are all the things that I've ever wanted to be doing, and they just happen to be happening at once. Another thing that really gives me energy, I guess, is the people that I'm around. I get to be around the coolest people that I've ever worked with at Daily Show, that are constantly, like, whether it's hyping you up or you're able to bounce ideas off of them, and their enthusiasm and the way that they bring, like, their specific talents to the show always make me excited to be a part of it. And then the rest is just doing stand up on the road, which is just meeting all of you and, doing the meet and greets when we can and stuff. And those are real opportunities to get a second to chat, even if it is just a moment where, I understand, especially a late show, people are tired and they want to take the picture and go home and stuff. I'm never like thinking about it some type of way. I guess I'm more just so excited to meet the people who enjoy what I'm doing, because sometimes you are creating these things online and it's very easy to see a number of likes or a little ticker go up. And while those things carry their own sort of excitement of like, oh, that's cool that people are watching, it's not until you meet the people that are watching that you get a real sense of what's going on. And so I don't know, if I'm being honest, if I've thought about balance yet or anything. I sneak in my naps when I can, and one day I will find time to sleep. But sometimes I will say I don't realize I'm asleep. I have definitely woken up and not been sure when I was sleeping. So I guess I get enough sleep.
How do you take care of your mental health?
I think I do lots of stuff. To me, I think you're constantly bombarded all the time with stimulus and with media. And I think that even though most of it is negative, the positive stuff there, whenever you open yourself up to it or whenever you focus on it, is just as overwhelming sometimes. There are a lot of people out there talking about the good things happening in the world. And if you engage with that stuff as much as you engage with like mainstream news and being up to date on the latest horrible thing that's happening in every country, I think you can find the balance that's actually happening. Because it's true, all these things are happening at the same time. And I don't know, I think that centers me sometimes, that like, as many bad things as there are that are happening, there are so many instances of us seeing like the good in people and the good in the world and stuff. And so that helps me take care of myself. I have people that I will sometimes message if I'm having a rough time, for any number of reasons. Just having those people really help. I think that therapy as well. Therapy, depending on your version of it and what you found helps you the most, I guess depends on how often you lean on it. And so, yeah, I think therapy, I think engaging in as much positive media as I can, and I think looking up specifically for news stories where something good is happening help me take care of myself.
Why are your tickets $400?
They are not. They're not. I cannot say this enough how much they are not. And because of how social works as well, no matter how many times you post that they're not, it may not reach the people who saw the thing. You know what I mean? Like we're all just missing each other because they're not at all. One of the reasons that you might see $400 tickets to my show are resellers. So I am trying to make sure everybody can come to the show. I'm trying to make sure that all the tickets are affordable, right? But if someone buys up a bunch of tickets and then they go to the secondary market and they wait until the show is sold out and then they try to sell it to people who want to come to the show but missed it, they're going to charge whatever they think they can get. right? So while it's $400 in this economy, $400. I am not asking that of anybody. $400 is too much money, okay? I can't sing. Yeah, I mean, like we're not talking about tickets to like somebody who can do backflips or something like that. Resellers are charging these astronomical prices, which is why I tell people to join my email list. If you join my email list, I will let you know when I add shows. I'll also let you know when shows are happening. You'll also get access to pre-sale in some of the markets because we try to email everyone out. There's a whole thing that I'm learning about how like venue have pre-sale tickets and days, and everybody has a certain amount of tickets that they're allowed and stuff like that. But as soon as we can go to you with the ticket, we try to go straight to you. So that way the email is coming from me, and then you can get the ticket at its intended price, and we completely cut resellers out of it. Sometimes I even lose words for how best to describe how bad of a thing this reselling is, because it cheats you out of money, and it cheats a lot of people out of an experience, you know? Because let's just, for the sake of argument, say the reseller buys my ticket and they're charging $2,000. And then people are like, Josh, love you, nice little quips, nice little witty jokes online, but $2,000, no. Now, somebody who was willing to pay the like $35, $45 that I was charging for the show doesn't get to come. And then this reseller is blocking people from having a good time at the show, you know? So my tickets are not $400. If you see that, you know, not only don't you buy it, but also feel free to warn other people, hey, this thing is not real, you know? So hopefully I've spoken about it well. Hopefully.
Where is your hour-long Netflix special?
It doesn't exist, but I think maybe it could one day. We'll see. The reason I do stand-up is to connect with the people that I'm doing stand-up for. And that's been happening through social, through YouTube, through like live performance as well. So I feel like the connection is there, and it's getting stronger, and it's growing. And so I don't concern myself as much with like, oh, when are we going to get this thing, or can we get this person on the phone or something? Because to me, all things happen as they're supposed to in the right time. And so if there is a day that comes that I have an hour-long Netflix special, then the day that comes will be the day that it comes out. Until then, I'm having a great time posting and writing as much as I can, and just sort of putting that stuff out there.
Can you go deeper into your writing/performing process?
Yeah, so I guess I don't know. I could talk about it all day. So I'll try to give like some bullet points. I think when you're writing about anything, in my experience, I think taking the things that you find funny about them and the things that you find interesting about them and believing in them are going to be ways that you connect people to the thing it is that you're talking about. Not everything is interesting, and maybe everything can't be made interesting by a specific person. But I think if there's any like gold that you actually find in something, someone else will connect with that. I think the missing connective tissue sometimes is belief in the thing that you're talking about, and it's in a full understanding of what you're trying to say. And so whenever I'm writing anything, I'm trying to make sure that I'm fully distilling the idea down enough that if you don't know me, and if you don't know what I'm like, and if you've maybe even never watched stand-up before, you'll still get what I'm trying to say. And I think that is one of the main things I look for in what I'm talking about and how long I want to talk about it. And then I think that sort of all of life informs other pieces of it. So if I may be talking about one thing that has nothing to do with any of the other topics I bring up in my mind while well, let me see, now I'm rambling. Hold on. If you choose a topic to talk about, right, it may seem incredibly isolated. It may seem like one of its kind. But because of how long humans have been around and because we have cyclical behavior, it's not. So no matter what the thing is, there's something like it that has happened before, even if it's only in spirit. And so I think that as soon as you pick something to talk about, you can find things that are similar to that thing that maybe someone might not understand thing A that you're talking about, but they've experienced thing B. And if thing B is a universal enough experience and you link it back to A, then I think that you can in turn at least give people the option of seeing what you're trying to say. And that's just one way to do it. I think that the other way is like take the thing that is your topic that's most important to you and breaking it down on every level. At some point with those layers, people will start to see what you mean. Whether or not they agree is like completely up to them. And luckily for stand-up, you don't really need anyone to agree with you. You just need them to be enjoying what you're saying and find it funny. Some things that we find funny are because of agreement, and some things that we find funny is because of the absurdity of it and how much we disagree. And so I think that in those ways, you don't really need to have the way a lawyer does an iron tight argument. You more just need to have all of your points built out and know exactly what you're trying to convey. And then that will be the link between you and the people that you're sharing with. I think that, yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to seeing you on the road when I come to your city. Make sure to join the email list. It's at joshjohnsoncomedy.com. And I look forward to making more videos for you in the future. You know, I really love what I'm doing right now, and you're part of why I love it so much. Yeah. Till next week. So when I swing my legs, are you getting that? No. Oh, you're not? Okay. That would be my undoing, because they are nowhere near. And it's like, it's hard to take a man seriously when they're swinging like this, because it's a natural thing. Like if they were on the ground, they would be planted enough that it wouldn't be a big deal. But because they're so free, because my knees are really off the edge, there is a dangle that's not only a bit dainty, it's a bit whimsical too. It's not the right vibe to try to be.
The shoes are also Velcro too, so that...
Yeah, okay. These actually aren't my normal shoes. I wore these because I lost my shoes. And so I'm still looking for my real shoes. But then until then, I have these on, and everyone has been looking at me like I need help. I have not encountered anybody in a store or on the street that has seen my shoes and not been, let's just say, extra nice to me. Dangling in Velcro shoes, it's not the look for a grown man. You know what I mean? Like, this is when I tell you I'm positive that this is like a walking ick. Yeah, like this is bad. So I was also not happy about it, because I literally asked my girlfriend, hey, do you know where my shoes are? Which is one of the most insane questions you can hit a person with, because your shoes should have been left by you somewhere nearby. But I did not know where my shoes were, and I haven't worn these in maybe a year. I don't even know where they came from. I really don't. Like, maybe I bought them, but I feel like they were a gift, and not just a gift, but like a re-gift. Like, I think they were given to someone my size, and then that person was like, nah, I can't keep these in the house. It's better than not having shoes. I'm grateful to have more than one pair of shoes, but I'm also praying I find my real shoes soon, because, ugh.
The main shoes, they're what, on?
On clouds, yeah.
When are you going to get an endorsement? I mean, you have those on every show, every stage, all over the country.
That's up to On Cloud. I wear them because they're comfortable. But An endorsement would be nice. That would definitely buy us some more on clouds. Yeah, they might as well endorse me. I would just give the money back to them almost immediately in on clouds.